Elsewhere in the AFC, breaking news right now on NFL Network. We're going to see a tweet, and it's about the New England Patriots and their relationship with head coach Bill Belichick. They have mutually agreed to part ways. He will not return as head coach in 2024. This is a Tom Pelissero tweet. This is sources that tell both Tom Pelissero and our own Ian Rappaport. That's 24 seasons. That's 6 Super Bowl rings. Bill Belichick and New England, not the relationship you will see moving forward in the future. It is a conversation we have had for quite some time now. It started last season, into this season, and Tom Pelissero joining us now to talk more about this information. Tom.
Jamie, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots are parting ways. Expect an announcement, potentially a press conference as soon as today. After 24 seasons and 6 Super Bowls, Belichick and New England are both moving on. So here's how we got here in recent days. On Monday, the day after the season, Robert Kraft, the owner, and Belichick spoke really for the first time the entire year in depth about what the future might hold. Both sides had a variety of things that they felt needed to change if they were to move forward together. They had extensive conversations for hours. Belichick took a couple of days to mull things over. They just could not get to the point where they felt like it was the right thing for them to stay for season number 25. So the Patriots, for the first time since the year 2000, will be looking for a new head coach. And Bill Belichick, who has made clear he wants to continue coaching, he is motivated to break the all-time wins record, potentially could be coaching another team in 2024.
Tom, how much do you think this has had to do with some of the names that have become available over the last couple of days? We know that the hiring cycle and the interview process, the window opens January 21st. So the Patriots, they wanted some wiggle room to be able to put those requests in for some of those names that are available in terms of guys that will fill this role for the New England Patriots.
Jamie, it certainly impacts the options the Patriots now will have to fill that role, and I would certainly anticipate that Robert Kraft would look within the New England Patriots family, whether that is Mike Vrabel, Brian Flores, Josh McDaniels potentially. There are a bunch of different coaches with ties to that organization who know how things have worked under Bill Belichick for a long time. But let's be very clear. This was not about someone becoming available and everything changing. This was about Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. In recent years, Robert Kraft has exercised more authority over certain moves within the organization. You go back to last year, the Patriots did some things that they usually don't do, putting out press releases on things like Gerard Mayo being retained, about Bill O'Brien coming aboard as the offensive coordinator. For Belichick, he had lost a certain level of power over how the entire organization operates. There also had been a lot of different people through the years, both on the front office and the coaching side, who had moved on, and it's fair to say that they did not adequately replace those people in every regard. So, again, they talked about this. Both sides had things that they wanted to discuss. They went through all of it. Could we change this? Could we move on from this person? Could we bring in this person? They just were not able to get there. Bill Belichick said it on Monday in his press conference. I'm under contract. My understanding is he had one more year on that deal plus an option for future years. He also said, I'm going to continue going about my job. We've got things that need to be fixed. A lot of people took that to mean that Bill Belichick was saying that he's going to stick around and fix those things. Ultimately, what it appears, based upon the conversations that took place this week, was that it was Bill Belichick going to Robert Kraft with things that he would have wanted, Kraft going to Belichick with things that he would have wanted. Those things did not sufficiently line up. So anticipate a formal announcement as soon as today. Bill Belichick out as the Patriots coach.
Tom, thank you. To your point about responsibility shifting away from Bill Belichick in the most recent years, that's in line with how challenging the seasons have been up in New England. So clearly Bill Belichick didn't have all of the power maybe that he wanted to, and his job looked different after 24 years in New England, and now New England will look different as well, Jason. And you spent your time there, so this must feel strange to you.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of time to discuss who's going to be the next head coach, landing spots for Bill Belichick. 24 years and 6 Super Bowls and countless appearances in the Super Bowl as well, and just winning football games year after year. For me, it was an honor. I got a chance to go play in that building in my 10th year in the NFL, having never made the playoffs, only having a few seasons where we even had a winning record. Getting there and seeing day-to-day the consistency of what it took to win and how Bill challenged everybody. I would always tell tell people, it was almost like from a coaching standpoint, they were the parents, and you would come together in the locker room, and you would go out there as teammates and try to win football games. This has been speculated for all season long. I think you go back to the Germany loss with the Colts, and you kind of could see this coming for the New England Patriots. So we'll see what comes of it. But Bill Belichick, 24 years, one of the greatest coaches, obviously, to ever have done it. And it was an honor for me to get a chance to learn under him.
We'll do lots of stories on Belichick, and we'll give our memories, and we'll go through that for sure. But in the news sense, as far as what now for the Patriots, I'm intrigued because unlike the current coordinators around the league, Mike Vrabel can't interview. Like, he got fired, so he can interview. He's not harming any team. So was there a window right here where they said, okay, Vrabel's got 10 days before a lot of these other candidates can get out there because they have to wait till the divisional round is done. Should we get Vrabel in the building now? And is there a way that we can expedite this process, Bill, and we can understand that we're not going to hold you back, you don't hold us back? I think for a while there, it might have been finagling over whether they hold on to Belichick and try to get a draft pick or not. It sounds like they mutually are parting ways and just saying, okay, let's just scrub our hands clean of this, let's end it here. Find the Vrabel factor fascinating because to Jason's point, we've heard Gerard Mayo's name for 3 years now. Yep. Gerard Mayo might have been being groomed as the next head coach, but he was never labeled the interim. He was never labeled the coach in waiting. We've seen that in college a million times. He had never been given that publicly. That was all internal and all stuff that we in the news were reporting. Well, when you have one of the worst records in football and the team goes and misses the playoffs again, is that when the opportunity where the ownership group, and I think in a lot of cases, and this might be key, Jonathan Kraft playing a bigger role than RKK in this one. Jonathan Kraft saying, I don't know if we just want an old holdover from that last 5 years that we've had. Let's maybe turn the page, bring in someone with Patriots blood, but maybe someone that hasn't been in this building, insulated in the Belichick walls over the last decade.
Yeah, we get so caught up in the coaching cycle and all the things that were happening Monday. You just take like just a little moment to be like, this is history. This is NFL history. This is American history. Like in 24 hours, Saban's retired and Belichick is no longer with the Patriots. This is a huge, huge deal. All due respect, this is not, Matt Rule is not coaching the Panthers anymore. This is Bill Belichick is no longer coaching the Patriots. This is a huge day that we will remember for a long, long, long time. And we'll get into the memories, and we're going to run all this stuff, and we're going to run the tuck rule, and we're going to run Vinatieri, and Willie McGinnis on the goal line. Like, we'll have weeks, if not years and decades to do this, and this is all great. I also think for Patriots fans waking up this morning, I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good, positive thing. I think it's time, maybe a little past time. You're going to have a fresh coach. You're going to have an actual, likely general manager. Maybe you're going to approach the draft a little bit differently, approach a lot of things differently. And listen, Peter, let's get Mike Vrabel in there now. If we get him the next 20 minutes.
What are we doing?
You can groom whoever you want. We got potentially a top 5 NFL coach sitting here, and he's got his red jacket on the hanger at home being like, I love you guys. I got the Super Bowl rings at home. Let's go.
No trade, no draft picks, just a clean hire.
Just hire him. Hire him. He's sitting right there. The Harbaugh stuff. No. Mike Vrabel is sitting there waving his hands. Hire him. Patriots fans should go nuts. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick, today, today technically, Jay, be his first day off then ever? You've earned it, my man. You've earned it. Great run.
Absolutely. Can you imagine the phone call that's going to go down? What do Nick Saban and Bill Belichick talk about now when they go to chat on the phone? Peter, quickly, for Mike Vrabel, it's curious that he had this image of him in his bye week returning to New England this season. How much of that B-roll are we going to see, and how much that imagery of the Crafts and Vrabel in the middle of a regular season interacting with Vrabel being honored for his time as a Patriot?
Yeah, I think that was fitting, and I think Ian hit it yesterday on the show that might not have been looked at as so warmly in Nashville as it was everywhere else, and for us here at the table and everyone in Foxborough. And I think Vrabel has been one of the great Patriots of all time. He is now a free agent coach. That is the lead dog. Now, look, Rooney Rule, they've got to go through the process. They're going to meet with lots of people. I'm not saying it's not Gerard Mayo's job, and I'm not saying it's not some wild card X factor they've hired in the back. But in the last 30 years, we've had just 3 coaches for the Patriots, the Kraft family, and those 3 coaches, ironically, Bill Parcells, Pete Carroll, and Bill Belichick.
It is a crazy day, as Kyle said. The historic context, the historical context of this for Bill Belichick is vast, and we will certainly put a bow on it and continue to here on Good Morning Football.